Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the Minecraft LP series, you guys. My name is Hocus, and this is episode 18. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I hope you are all having a great week so far, and a nice day, of course. I don't know if you guys were with me for the last one, but if not, let me quickly recap what we did in that episode. So we're standing in the build right now. It's a mini super smelter. It's a take on Wells Knight's design. So we use minecarts here to fuel the system. And what you can do is place fuel items in the bottom carts here. So coal, for example, we've got in our system at the moment. And hitting the lever will make the carts travel throughout a small system that distributes the fuel evenly amongst the furnaces. And then the top carts here are for the smeltable items. So for example, if you're cooking up some iron ore, I don't know, some gold ore, some sand, whatever you can smelt in the game, you pop that in the top carts and then same system. That is evenly distributed amongst the furnaces here. And this thing can cook 22 items simultaneously. So we've got 11 furnaces on the left and 11 furnaces on the right. And this is kind of what the room looks like from the outside. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. The only issue that we're facing is that it isn't lit up properly. We're using torches at the moment, and if we were to get rid of those torches, you can see it gets quite dark in here, and that will lead to one thing and one thing only, and that is mob spawns. So we've got a pretty small but monumental task to carry out at the start of today's episode. And our monumental but small task, which I understand is a bit of a juxtaposition, is to find a jungle. And the reason why we're here, I've mentioned this in an earlier episode, but the reason why we are here is because I need some of these guys. And by these guys, of course, I mean cocoa beans. So let me just go ahead and tear a few of these off of the tree here. And I think it's probably a good idea if we actually tear down some of the wood as well, so that we can take that away with us. And then off camera, I'm quickly going to get myself a jungle sapling, and we will be on our merry way. Now, I guess the best thing to do, rather than using these cocoa beans immediately, is to set up a small farm. So we'll just do something manual. This is why I brought back some of the wood, because I still don't know whether you can grow these beans on other wood types. I haven't really tested it, but here we go. Just going to place a few down like so. We probably do one more as well, right? Just to make sure that we are getting the best bang for our bucks. We've got two small little cocoa bean setups here. And I also picked up something else quite interesting, which I haven't played with at all since it was released. And I will show you guys that in just a minute. And this was released a while ago, I suppose, but as I say, something I've never really taken a look into, but I flew over a tiger biome and picked up some sweet berries, so maybe we'll have a spot in here for sweet berries. Up there will be a good position. I know you can grow these, so maybe we can set up a farm eventually. I've also got a bunch of other goodies to put away, including the jungle sapling, which we so desperately required. And whilst we're waiting for the cocoa beans to grow, we may as well try to multiply the number of saplings we've got here. Now, I'm really hoping that we don't just lose this sapling, because it can be the case, especially with jungle trees. I always find that they are pretty temperamental with dropping saplings. So hopefully we get some. I'm going to use the fortune pick to increase our chances here. Oh, sweet. So we ended up with 5 saplings. So this time it worked out okay for us. And that means we can begin to do this. Oh yeah. Well, guys, turns out you can actually bone meal the cocoa beans, something I didn't know. And I have to be honest, I don't think I've ever built a cocoa bean farm, so I'm not really too in tune with the mechanics of them. But since we've pretty much got unlimited bones, that means we don't really have to wait for them to grow, which is quite nice. And you guys are probably still wondering, why on earth did you go to the jungle? What do we need cocoa beans for? Well, if you watched last episode and one of the earlier episodes in this series, you might already have a good guess, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Oh, okay then, so first things first for the cocoa beans, let's create some brown dye, which looks oddly like something I'm not going to name. And let's take it over to our smeltery system here, because we're going to light this room up, and that's what we're going to use the brown dye for. So remove the torches, first of all, and then what shall we do? I'm thinking we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's have one light here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe another light here. Okay, yep, that looks good to me. So we will have redstone block, lamp, like so, brown glass, and then same on this side. So down to redstone block, lamp, and glass. That gives us a good amount of light. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Let's have a quick check. So light 7. Okay, we're still getting 7 in some areas. So there is probably room for some lanterns maybe. And with the addition of the 2 lanterns on the left and right of the room, the place is spawn proof. And I think it looks pretty good. It looks okay anyway. I'm not entirely sure about the lantern placement here, but there isn't really much of an option, I guess. if we want to keep things looking nice and symmetrical. So we'll stick with it. And yeah, as I say, it's not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. And another pretty cool use of the brown dye is a hidden lighting technique. So I mentioned this in an early episode that I wanted to put carpet in here so that we could hide some lighting. So what I've done is underneath the brown carpeting here and in each of the corners, I've added in a light. You can see the pattern on the ceiling above me. Wherever there's a trapdoor, there is a piece of glowstone. That's how we've hidden it. So it's the same on both floors at the moment. And this means that we could remove torches safely and not have to have ugly lighting in the room. Looks pretty good, right? Okay then, guys. So next on the agenda, I have to admit, I don't really have a plan for today's episode. You know, I usually have a small sort of inkling of what I'm going to do, but today, nothing. So we're just going off the, we're just winging it a little bit. So I've came outside here and recognized that we've had to finish this up here. So our collection system for the sugarcane farm isn't yet complete. So why not take a little bit of time to do that? So I think first of all, we need to get rid of most of this water here. And I was thinking that instead of having this, this area contain water, we could kind of just make an artificial bend in the terrain. So something like this, I'm thinking, if we just continue the pattern on in this direction and maybe link it up somewhere by the boat, and then we can just filter out all of the water and not have to worry about it. All right then, so although it's not perfect, it also isn't terrible, and there's infinite time to work on things like this, so I'm gonna just ignore it for now, and we'll let the grass grow over and see what we think once that's happened. But onto the collection system. First of all, we need to make sure that we've got a uniform design here. So what we're going to do for that is to bring across this wooden, what would you call this? A beam, I guess? A wooden beam that we've got running underneath the farm. So we'll extend that from left to right to make sure that it covers the entire width. And then we're looking into ways to cover up the minecart slightly. So I think in the past I used glass, and I want to do that again, but I'm kind of, this time it might be a little bit different because the tracks are so compact, so I don't really know how we'd split it up at all. So maybe let me think about that off camera for a second. Sweet, so I think I've got this figured out. What we're going to do is we're also going to continue the pattern on the left and the right. So we'll have our spruce beam that comes across, and of course that will once again be stripped. Now let's not put that block in place just in case, that might change slightly. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side of the collection system. So we're going to have to work under the chest for a moment, but that's okay. Oops, because we can do something like that. And then, of course, once again, that will be stripped. Now, at the back here, we're going to do something slightly different. So we'll take out these blocks. And this is the wrong pickaxe to be using, but it's okay. Because generally, I like to keep the stone if I can, but that's fine. All right, and then here we will go with stone brick. So only behind the carts. So what we want to do is, or should we just, yeah, we'll only do it behind the carts. So we want to mix this up, I think, so that we can have some other stone brick types in there. So maybe on this one, we'll go with something like this, cracked stone brick. Then we might have a piece of mossy here. Again, we might go for cracked and regular, maybe regular mossy. I don't know, we just want to mix it up a little bit so that it's not entirely uniform, right? We just want to add a bit of extra texture and color. Just about finishing up here, guys. So I'm going to take you through the last few steps on camera. So we're going to lay down some gravel for the redstone. And this is where we're going to activate the system. Then I think what we're going to have is a repeater that runs into the back of each cart so that we can power the rail that they sit upon, like so. And then we need ourselves some redstone. I know for sure that we've got some out in this this shulker box. So let's grab some of this, replace that. And now I'm thinking, where are we going to begin the redstone? Probably under the very center here. So under this block. And then we'll quickly go ahead and replace these two guys. So we had some of this and then maybe just a plain one at the back. All right, looks good to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do about 6. And then all we want to do is just have the redstone come out like this, connect to each repeater. And same on the other side, like so. And then just at the top here, we're going to need ourselves a button. I think I had one somewhere. Oh, in fact, it might be inside of our storage system here, so I'm going to have to grab that out in just a moment. Oh no, so we had to make a quick change, and that change was the fact that when the cards returned, they were hitting the glass, but they weren't bouncing away, so I guess you have to have a solid block there. So I've replaced this entire wall with stone brick, and I think that'll look okay. So as for the covering here, we're just going to go with a bit more glass so that we can see the redstone when it activates. No particular reason why, I just think it's cool to have your wiring on display if you can make it look neat and tidy. Or at least in my opinion it is anyway. I don't know what you guys think about that, but now that we've got everything in place, you can hit the button, you can see the carts almost simultaneously make their way around the track, and we'll just hang around for this to finish. We climb up here. Yes, we can. All right, and here they come, and this time they did in fact bounce back. So as I said, with the glass there, they would just get stuck, so we had to replace that. And then finally, they return to their initial positions, ready for another run around. And of course, if they did have any items inside of them at this point, they would spit them out into the storage system, and we'd be good to go. So yeah, that's that, I guess. And one final change to the sugarcane farm before we move on. And as I say, no plans, guys. So I've got to figure something out after this because we are only 10 minutes deep. That is not good enough. So we've got this activation system on this side here. So you press the button, of course, that flips the trapdoor, sends the flying machine off in this direction. Now, I was going to try and build an automatic return system on this side, but I figured that we don't really need it since there is no way that any sugarcane can get trapped in our farm design here. So what I'm going to do is going to go with another trapdoor there. And then on the following side, we're going to take out the leaf blocks on the obsidian. And then just like that, we'll have another simple activation on this side because eventually I'm aiming to bring this pathway here around this side of the farm. So we'll be able to access both sides. The only downside I can think of is that we won't always be aware of where the flying machine is. So maybe if we can think of an indication system that shows us where the machine is. So if it's on this side, maybe a light is on over here. Or if it's on that side, same thing on the other side, so that we know which way to go when we're going to activate this thing. But I think that'll work out well, at least for now anyway. We might figure out something else eventually. Okay, guys, I have made the decision. We're just going to end the episode here. So thank you for watching today. Just kidding. We're going to finish up the base area here that we started out with. So this is our starter room that kind of leads down into the main base. But this back wall has been unfinished since episode 1. So I think today we'll work on getting that complete. So what I'm kind of looking for here is to fit an enchanting setup in, because currently our only one sits over in the zombie farm. I think we should have one elsewhere as well that's a little bit more accessible. So I think the perfect location would be this backside of the room here. So I'm going to just dig out a segment and kind of get it shaped the way I want it. And then we'll look into getting some design work in place. All right then, guys, let's get this underway. So first of all, I'm going to craft us a nice little enchanting table like so. We're also going to need 15 bookshelves. So we're going to need just slightly more than we were able to craft there. So let's grab one more stack of wood, I think. And you get out of there, and then we'll just do something like this. There we go. That is perfect. So this is the area that I've dug out. And eventually this 3 wide exit hole here is going to be a pathway that leads into a cave back there. Or at least that's kind of where I want to go with it, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, this is where the enchanting station is going to be. So this area here needs to remain open. And then we're going to have a, I was going to say circular segment of bookshelves, but that doesn't really make sense in Minecraft terms, does it? So we'll have a square of bookshelves like this, of course, to surround the enchanting table so that we can get maximum level enchantments. I think I have some stairs in here. I do. Very good. These are going to go right here to lead us down into the enchanting pit that we've got going on. I'll probably do something else to cover up the bookshelves, and then what we can do is just use the spare wood that we've got here in order. Oh, whoops, some of it is dark wood, so we'll just convert that to sticks. But some of this we can use to create ourselves some flooring around here as well, because I think I'll just extend the same floor pattern into this area so that it's not too difficult for us. But I've tried to make a sort of semicircular shape. The ceiling, of course, will be raised slightly as well, but this is what we've got going so far. It's kind of basic, isn't it? I might see if I can mix it up slightly. Let's see what we can do. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I told a little bit of a lie. So I said we were going to do something different. And although this is different to what we'd first planned, it's not entirely different in the grand scheme of things, right? Because we've already made multiple designs that look like this when it comes to our enchanting setups. But they always work quite well. So I'm figuring that if we go with the tried and tested method, we should get good results. And that's basically me copping out. I'm sorry. Anyway, what we're going to have is the usual, some ladders to get in and out. I'm also thinking of, so this one is going to be slightly different, in fact. Not majorly different, but it will be slightly different. I'll explain why in just a moment. Let me first of all get some glass up together. So we're going to cover over the entirety of the pit, something like this. And then the reason why it's different is because we haven't actually filled the walls in. So you can see there is a huge gap around the outside where the bookshelves are. But I think what I'm going to do in there is use some of our excess spruce. So I don't know, maybe 6 logs worth, because we're going to go with trapdoors here. And then we're going to take the trapdoors. Firstly, we'll have one right here. That will be the one that allows us to get in and out. So that will do something like that. And then I think we're going to go with trapdoors around the outside. Something like this, maybe? I don't know how this is going to look from the outside, though. That's the only concern that I might have. I think that looks halfway decent. Do we have any... No. Okay, spruce slabs is what I'm looking for now. Because I've just had an on-the-fly idea that might work. So in the corners, rather than trying to position them correctly, maybe we'll just go with a slab. So we'll have a slab in each corner. And then if we fill in the rest of the space with trapdoors, I think that might look quite cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? As per usual, let me know down in the comments below anything that you might have to say or anything you might think about the builds that we're doing in this video. Just let me know. Okay, so that is the enchanting station figured out, and I'm probably going to put a chest in there as well with some lapis in, so that whenever in the area, we don't need to keep coming out and going back in to grab lapis to enchant with. Now that we've got that figured out, I'm trying to organize the walls here, so I'm thinking, do we keep this as a singular wall that extends from this pillar to this one, or do we try and break it up with a pillar? I'm probably just going to go ahead and put the 5-block combo in and see what it looks like. But possibly it'd be too much and we might have to break it up a little bit with another pillar. I was just looking at what I did over here because, of course, again, this is kind of a similar situation. We've got a diagonal, and generally I don't build in diagonals, but this turned out to be the best way to make this room semicircular. So as I say, let's get the 5-block combo in and just kind of see where we take it. This has been tough, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. So I've got the walls in place and the ceiling, as you can see, but it's been... Like I say, it's been tough trying to get this in place because of the diagonals. They don't work too well with the building style I had going on here. So instead of using stairs around the edge of the ceiling here, we've used some half slabs right here. Then it goes into a full block and then back into half slabs. I've continued the wood pattern up to the door, and I'm thinking that we could probably add something in here to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's try and do that on camera together. I was going to go with, I think, some spruce wood and maybe a spruce stair. Let's just see what we can come up with. So if we go like that, wait, hang on. How did we have it over here? So it leads into a stair, right? Maybe if we do something like this, wait, is that too much? Maybe that's too much. How about something like that? And then we have a stair right here. Does that work? That awkward laugh was probably telling you exactly what I was thinking, but maybe we could try and switch it up if we grab a little bit more wood here and go with the trapdoor on the underside of the log there. So maybe like this. Maybe like that will work. I guess it's slightly more interesting. We'll keep it for now. I can always change it. But the next step for me was to add in some lighting. So these are going to have to be hung, I guess, with 2 iron bars instead of the 1, just because of, well, again, I guess we could try switch this out for some stairs, but I don't know how that's going to look. Let's give it a test. Is that the look we're going for? The only thing is it doesn't really connect well because of this block here. So maybe instead of that, we could go with something like this. I don't know. Yeah, that's looking okay. That's looking okay. We're going to have to work it a little bit, though, because still not entirely sure about it. Let's go grab some more stairs and more wood. Still not 100% on board with my own ideas, but we're definitely ironing out the kinks. Let's do this, grab some stairs, and then we also need some more of this. Okay. All right, so then we'll go with another one of these guys. Another stair, and of course we must strip the log. But then I'm wondering, do we switch this all out for wood or do we keep it the way it is? Because I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Maybe we'll play around with this off camera in just a moment, but I do like the way the lighting looks. And I'm going to quickly check the light levels here. So we're up to, yeah, we're up to like 9s and 10s everywhere, which is exactly what we need. We're down to 8 there. Do we go to 7 at all? Oh, we do go to 1-7. So again, there's a small chance that we'll get mobs up here, but we were having them spawn anyway, not very frequently. But I think we've actually got more lighting up here than we did before this change. So it should be a lot better now. But as I said, give me a moment to explore this off camera for a few seconds. And then we'll think about wrapping up today's episode. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 18 for the last time. Now take a look above my head. This is what I decided to go with in the end. Still kind of unsure, but I think this is better than what we had. Not too much wood, and you can still see the stone brick enough. So I think we'll stick with this for now. And if you guys, again, have any more suggestions, then please do let me know down in the comments below. I'm always open to changes, especially when they come from you guys. So make sure to do that. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's episode, please be sure to drop a like down below. That would be much appreciated by myself. Any questions, suggestions, and comments, as I say, put them down below the video right now in the comment section, and I'll be sure to respond. And finally, if you are new around here, then first of all, welcome to the Hocus Pocus channel. I hope you enjoyed your stay today, and if you want to extend that stay, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. That will allow you to stay tuned to this series and any other videos that we do post here on the channel. All right, guys, once again, I hope you enjoyed this one. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.